So hi all, welcome to the Devops course. So in today's session we are mainly going to discuss about the Git scenarios, right guys? So till now, as a continuation of your previous session only, we have done with your Git basic CLI command guys, right? If you remember how we can move around the Git local repository, what all basic commands are required to work within a Git local repository, those commands we have discussed now. But now it's all about the real-time experience, that is hands-on scenarios, right? So this whatever the uh, data I'm providing over here guys is as per my real-time production environment experience as a DevOps engineer. Okay, and these are the scenarios, these are the real scenarios which really needs to be executed in your Git repository, in your local repository guys. So let's directly jump into the topic and start with this one. Okay, so and at the same time one more information I just thought to provide with you guys is that, so whenever, so this data is not I am taking it some from the different sites, it is from the official sites, whatever the data and over providing over here, and is as per my real-time experience guys. Okay, so the data which I am giving over here, so you can go ahead and even if you also want to search it more, dig out into this one in your Git repository, so you can log into this git-scm.com guys. So you can get it all the details. Okay, so the most of the means data I'm taking it from here only. Okay, and as per my real-time experience, as per my production environment experience guys. So okay, so without wasting the time, let's directly jump into the topic and let me explain you and let's discuss about some of the scenarios guys. Okay, correct. So here the first thing, till now we have seen how to move around your working directory, staging area and local repo, right guys? How to create a file. You are not going to create the file. Who is going to create the file? The developer is going to create remember four things. There is only four things in Git repository. Because of that only this repository is calling it as a version control tool. What all those four things are there guys? First thing is create, second thing is edit, third thing is save, and fourth thing is save the file again and again and again. That is what the developer is going to do, is he is going to modify the continuously, he is going to modify the file, right guys? Tell me if it is wrong, right? Correct, absolutely right, correct. So he is going to modify the file continuously, and you have to monitor those files. You have to make sure that you should be able to track his work. You should be able to save his work. Where you are going to save his work? You are going to save his work in the local repo. At the same time, one more information I thought to provide with you guys. So this local repo is nothing but, this local repo is your Git repository only guys. Are you getting my point? Correct. And this is nothing but, this is the Git database. This is local database of your Git repository. Because see, once the file will be in working directory, and then the file will be moved to staging area, and finally you are saving, where you are saving to the local repo. So this local repo is nothing but, this local repo is your Git database guys. So this is what all about. Okay, now coming back to the point over here, first we are going to discuss about the first scenario. What do you mean by Git tag? So understand this one very carefully. Okay, so Git tag is nothing. Git tag, this is a command to use to give a tag to the specified commit, to the specified commit IDs. What does that mean? To the specified commit ID. Let me make it very simple to you, right guys? So let me log into the system, then I'll explain you what exactly Git tag is guys. Okay, so we have already you can see. Okay, this is the public IP. Just log into the server. Okay, you remember last time which user we have created? We need to log in as a Ubuntu, right? And this is for the london.ppk, correct guys? If you remember properly, this reason only in the previous session I have clearly explained you, correct guys? So we have logged into the system. What first thing you need to do guys, I am always telling you, who am I? You need to check which user you are. You are a normal user, so you need to log in as a root user. How we can log in as a root user guys? Sudo hyphen I, correct? And then what you need to do guys, just go to Paytm folder, right? Do a ls over here, so you are able to see all the files under where? all the files under working directory. Now what is the next thing you need to check? Is there any modification happen within this local repository? How we can check? Git status is the command, right guys? So there is no modification happened with this the repository. So whatever the file which is in working directory is already saved to the local repo. That is nothing but that is your Git database. That is your Git local repo, right? So how we can check that one? I've already explained you in the previous session how we can check this one. Git ls files is the command to check in your local database. So whatever the files you are able to see in the working directory, same files are available in the database also, guys. Okay. Now coming back to the point, if you have to change, if you have to check the history, or if you have to check the logs, how we can check the logs, guys? Git log hyphen hyphen one line is the command, right? We're not going to give the big one, correct? Big line command, simple command, git log. So are you able to see multiple commit IDs are there, correct? And with these multiple commit IDs, there is a respective message over there, right? So this is showing this for this commit ID, there will be a specific message will be there. While we have committed, we have put a message over there that should be relevant to this commit ID. But what do you mean by this git tag? So git tag is nothing but, again I am telling you, this is what we are going to do over here with the git tag is that we are going to tag the commit ID with a user friendly name. Just try to understand this one, guys. Once again, what I am telling you, listen very carefully. So this is a command to use to give a tag to the specified commit ID. Or if you want, see what happened over here, if you come over here, so as of now this is a small environment, right? This is not for a organization or something. But if you talk about in the organization, then what you are going to get, you are going to get a very big infrastructure. So do you really think these many commit IDs will be there? It will be in hundreds, right? It will be in 50s, right? So how you are going to remember all these commit IDs? You cannot remember all these commit IDs, guys. So to understand, to make it simple, to make it easy, we need to tag this commit ID with a user friendly name, with a human readable name. Like your IP is there, right? So can you ever remember like www.google.com is a human readable name is there. But if I'll tell the IP 192.168.195.2, are you able to remember this IP? No. You are easily remember the user friendly name. So this is what we need to do it over here. Instead of this commit ID, we need to tag this commit ID to a user friendly name. So that is what call your git tag. Guys, are you getting my point? So let me show you how we can tag this with the git tag command, guys. Okay, to this commit ID. For example, this commit ID is there. Okay, at the same time there is also one more thing I just thought to share with you guys. Okay, so see, remember, whenever you do a commit, remember, whenever you do a commit, okay, the head will be always at the top. The commit ID which is last committed is always at the top, and this is called your head. So the last, this one, when the file 2 test2 dot created, okay, so this is the head of that particular commit ID, guys. Remember this thing always, not the bottom one. It is always, this is called the head, okay? Because in the upcoming session I'll explain you what do you mean by this head. Now coming back to the point, what we need to do over here is, so we need to tag, right? That is what, how we can tag, guys. So to tag this one, we need to run the command called git tag. And what you need to give, guys, you need to give hyphen a. As I said very clearly, you just check all the options available with git command. Hyphen a is an attribute, okay? And what here you need to give, you need to give something relevant, user friendly name which you can remember. You cannot remember this commit ID. So here what you have done, you have created file 1, so you can mention file 1 created, or created file 1. So anything is fine, you can mention like that. If you make it more easily readable and remember, so you can remember the thing. So most important point is, it's not only user friendly, it's all about your remember. You can easily remember someone name, right? You cannot remember someone name in a numeric, correct? That is difficult to remember, so it's easy to remember in a name. So created file 1, and then you need to provide, guys, you need to provide the commit ID over here, okay? And what you need to do, give a hyphen m. You need to provide a message that what you have done in this particular tag. So what we have done, added, okay, tag to file 1. That's what we have done, correct? And enter. That's it, done. But how you are going to check that this particular tag is created or not? So if you want to check this particular tag is created or not, just do a git tag. So are you able to see something over here, guys? Correct? Tell me yes or no. Correct, it is showing, right, guys? Created file 1. Now understand one more thing. So if you want to see the detail of this tag or of this particular commit ID, right? What we were doing earlier, git show is the command, right? If you want to see the full detail of this commit ID, so you can give the commit ID and you are able to see the complete detail. But now you no need to remember all these things. Anyone can come and he can see with, okay, if you remember created file 1. So you just do a git show, okay, and what we need to do is created file 1. So like this only you need to create, okay, modified file 1, created file 1, okay, enter. See, it's going to show you the same detail, guys. Tell me if the detail is different over here. Here you can see file1.txt is created, and this is the message earlier, and later on we have added the tag to this one. But now the next thing is just try to understand again with the git log hyphen one line. Again I am going to create a tag for the another file, that is this one, guys. So you'll see a slight difference between the normal commit ID what we have done before. When you do a git log, when you see the history of the git log, okay, then you are able to see where is the head will be always at the top. But in case of tag it is just opposite. Okay, how we can check this one? So again I am going to tag a file git tag, and I am going to give, guys, suppose this file, okay. So git tag hyphen a, you need to give a relevant name over here. What relevant name we are going to give? Created file 2, correct? And you need to give, guys, what? The commit ID of that particular file, that one, okay. And then you need to give hyphen m, and in this one you need to mention added tag to file 2, correct? Enter. Now if you want to see the tags, okay, just run. Now you are see the difference. Are you able to see the difference, guys? Okay, are you getting my point? Okay, so this time whatever we are doing, so that is coming as a git. Here also the file will be nothing but it's showing you created one. The head will be at the top, right? Correct, guys? Are you getting my point? Yes or no? So try to understand. Here the head will be at the top. The last file which we have created, or which we have, sorry, which we have saved, which we have committed, okay, the head will be at the top. But the last file just now in the git tag which we have created a tag, it's at the bottom. This is the basic difference between normal commit and a git tag, guys. Okay. So these are the interview questions only they are going to ask you. Simple question, guys. So this is all about your git tag. You can create tag for any one of these. If you modify any of this file, you can modify and you can create a tag for that one according to that, because that is more easily to remember, right? That is what the main intention of creating this git tag, guys. Now coming back to the next scenario, which is very much important, that git diff. So remember this git diff. This git diff is very much important. Then only you'll be able to understand. Listen very carefully. So what I am telling over here is the second scenario. So git diff is nothing but this is a comparison between working directory and local repo. Just try to understand one more thing. This is a comparison between working directory and local repo. I am not talking about the staging area. Git diff is nothing but if you want to see the modification or whatever the modification done by the developer before committing the file or before pushing the file to staging area also, you can see with the git diff command. Again I am repeating, guys, try to understand. There is three main thing you need to remember for a git diff. This is the very important question asked in the interviews, and this is how you have to perform in your production environment. What do you mean by git diff? So git diff is nothing but this is a comparison between your working directory and local repo. I am not talking about the staging area, because if it's come into staging area, then ultimately you should be able to track, right? What is the staging area? Staging area is nothing but you should be able to track your file, but before only I am talking about before only. So this is why it's a comparison between working directory and local repo. So whenever a modification done by the developer D1, developer D2 or developer D3 or developer D4, suppose D1 is the developer, Max is the developer. If Max make any modification, so when the file will be in working directory, we should not know, right? Correct. If any modification happened to the file or any file got created, we should not know that what modification is really done by the developer, guys. Okay. So and other thing is, which is very much important for the git diff, which you need to understand, is git diff is only worked for a continuously modified file. Remember, again I am repeating my sentence, git diff only work for a continuously modified file. It doesn't work for a newly created file. Let me show you how it is, guys. Just try to understand this one. So as of now, if you run the command called git status, okay, there is nothing, correct? But now you need to tell me, okay, I am going to modify the file. Which file I am going to modify? I am going to modify the file 1. So I am going to put a data inside this one, and I am going to write modifying file 1 for git diff. Okay. And so this is the way we can insert, this is the way we can append data into a file, guys. This is the latest. You no need to do a vi, you no need to do a cat, you just need to do a echo. This is a Linux command, this is a shell command. So we can just do need to echo, and it's going to append the data into which file you need to, file1.txt. Now see the difference. If you run the command called git status, now you tell me what is the data you are going to get over here. You're just getting this file is modified. Are you going to get anything apart from this? What line or what code is added into this file? No, right? Obviously not, right? So how will you come to know that the developer has done some modification? That is what the all intention of this git repository. That is what your version control tool, guys. You should be able, being a DevOps engineer, you should be able to track, right? How you are going to track that what line has been added to this file before only. See, forgot about the local repo as of now, committing the file, forgot about the staging area only. When the file is in your working directory only, if he is continuously modifying the file, that is what, right? So you should be able to see the history. You should not, when you are going to see the history, so whenever you run the command git log, so until unless you, if you don't commit, you should not be able to see the history. But what about before only? So I have not saved the file, not yet file is saved. File is just modified, but at this point only you want to know how the, so here only your git diff will work, guys. Just try to understand. So earlier we have seen git tag, right? There is nothing to do with the git tag. So git diff is working here only. I have not committed the file, I have not saved the file. So how we can come to know? Just see the difference. Run the command called git diff, okay, and give this file name. You will be able to see. Enter. Are you able to see something? Yes. See, it's clearly telling plus modifying file 1 for git diff. Clearly it's telling this line is added to this particular file. The developer has added this many lines to the file. You no need to commit the file. That is what we were doing earlier, guys. If you remember what we were doing earlier, we need to push it to a staging area, then we need to add it to the git local repo, correct? And then we'll use command called git log, and then from that commit id will come to know, okay, yeah, he has made these changes. So you no need to dig out that much. Just do a git diff and you will come to know what modification happened when the file is in your working directory only. Guys, are you getting my point? Correct? Now again I am doing the same thing. Just try to understand this one, guys. Just try to understand. This is very good command. Okay. Modifying file 1 second time. Okay. Modifying the file second time, guys. Right? Guys, are you getting my point? Yes or no? Okay. Just see. So just enter. Okay. Now again, so what the developer is doing over here is he's continuously modifying the file. You no need to commit now. So again, if you run a command called git status, it is going to show you modified only. It's not going, did it tell me this with this git status command, are you able to see any modification? Until unless it is not added to your staging area, and until unless it is not added to your local repo, correct? So here as soon as you run the command, same command, run it. Okay, just see. Now you are able to see the second time he added this line. Guys, are you getting my point? What is Git Diff now? Correct? Now you need to understand one more thing. So this is how Git Diff works. Okay, so as soon as you add this file, git add file1.txt, enter, git commit, okay, -m, and what message we need to give it over? Modified file1 two times. Okay, correct? And what is the file name? File1.txt, correct? Enter, done it. Now do git status. Now run this one. So you are not able to see anything. Now you run git diff also. Okay, just see git diff. That is what the definition is all about. Okay, so file1.txt, you are not getting anything, right? So it's very clearly that git diff only work when it is comparison between working directory and local repo, guys. Okay, now the next statement what I have said clearly that it's not going to work for the newly created file, guys. So let me show you. I am going to create a new file. What is that new file, guys? Any file you can take it over here. So file 3.txt, correct? File 3.txt, guys. Okay, now enter. File is created. Now run the git status command, correct? Now you need to tell me if I'll run a git diff, it's going to give me the output or not. Okay, so if I run call git diff, okay, git diff, and I need to give the file 3.txt, it's not going to give you any output, guys. The reason behind that one, git diff only works for a continuously modified file. Are you getting my point, guys? Is this clear for you? And if you have any doubt, okay, you can write it back to me. I'll try to answer as earliest as possible. Now, and as a next step, what we need to do is git add, and what we need to do is file 3.txt, okay, file 3.txt, and then you need to do git commit -m. What we have done just now, guys, we have created file 3, okay, and you need to give the file 3. So guys, you remember there is something assignment I have given to you. Did anyone completed that one? So please try to complete that one. Put all these two commands, whether this git commit and git add, into a single line command. Okay, so this is an assignment for you guys. Just try to do that one. Okay guys, so this is all about your two scenarios, guys, which we have discussed today. That is your git tag and git diff. So thank you for watching this video, guys. If you have any doubt, any queries, you can write it back to me. I'll try to answer as earliest as possible. Thank you.